Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for the fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing nonprofit educational or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair. All topics are for entertainment purposes only. None of the information presented in this video or by B-Girl TV should be taken as fact. Every situation is based on personal experience. Hey guys, if you or someone you know is visiting Panama and looking for an amazing time, check out Rum and Brunch, the first and only Afro-Caribbean brunch and day party in Panama City. Trust and believe, this is an event like no other. We play hip-hop, reggae, R&B, dancehall, soca, compa, and more. Log on to www.vgirltv.com/events or rumandbrunch.com/events and take a look at our events calendar to see what other events that we have going on, because trust me, you do not want to miss one of our events, okay? Follow us on all social media platforms at Rum and Brunch PTY on Instagram, Rum and Brunch PTY on TikTok. Join us on Facebook and stay tuned for all the other events that we have going on. We have Martin Luther King weekend where we have Rum and Brunch weekend, an event that you do not want to miss. So hope to see you guys there. Anyway guys, peace and love. Hey guys. Good morning, beautiful people. Good morning. I am so happy to see you guys' beautiful faces from yesterday. I remember I literally said, I'm going to do these live streams every day for 30 days, and we're going to see how this is going to work out. So I think this is what, 4 or 5, and we're still waiting for more people to come in. I know that people are at work right now, and, you know, they'll probably have to catch this on the replay. Guys, I'm so stuffy. My nose hurt. I have like I think I have like a sinus infection now. I have like a side headache or whatever. But here I am. Let's see who's in here. Hi, Camille Waters. Good morning. I hope you were able to catch some of the reruns on the other lives. I'm not even going to lie to you guys. Doing lives every single day, it is very challenging. It is very challenging. Hey, what do I think about Panama being the 51st state? I think I'm gonna have to move to another country. Oh my gosh, you guys are so funny. Oh my goodness. So if you hear that I'm a little stuffed, you guys know I have a cold. I'm fighting a cold. I've been taking anti-flu injections, which has helped with my throat. I was prescribed 3 days of injections. So today is actually my last day. But what happens with one of the injections is that after like 30 minutes, I get really drowsy. So tell me why I was supposed to take my daughter to school this morning and I overslept because the medication had me knocked out. Anyway, guys, welcome to this live stream. So this live stream is going to be social media versus reality, the truth people don't want you to hear about moving to Panama. So before we get into this topic, I just want to say this topic is super important because something happened to me yesterday that made me realize that people like to live in delusion. Hence, how you guys got your president, because people love to live in delusion. I think that social media has impacted a lot of people's perspective on what they presume reality is, which is why for me personally with my channel, I try to be as transparent as possible. I'd say the good, the bad, the ugly, because I don't know, like I just don't like to mislead people. And also, again, I've said this numerous times on my platform, if I had a channel like mine or someone who could have guided me and been totally honest with me about how to maneuver in Panama, I promise you, 95% of the mistakes that I've encountered, I would not have ran into them had I had a platform like mine. And I'm not even trying to big up myself and make it seem like, oh, like I'm the best or nothing. No, I'm not. What I'm saying is that a lot of these platforms, they really just highlight the just literally one part of Panama, which is Panama City, and not even the entire parts of Panama City. They just highlight Avenida Balboa, Cinta Costera. Well, same thing, Casco Viejo, but not Santa Ana. They highlight um, just certain parts of Panama, which I guess when it comes to tourism, you want to highlight the positive because trust me. But I'm talking about from a part the part where you want to move and live in a place. I think that is super misleading to lead people into thinking or delusion. And then when people get here, it's like a whole nother thing. And then they're like in this, number one, it's a culture shock. Number two, they're like, okay, this is not what I was sold. This is not what I was told. And then it's kind of like you get people who are extremely salty and talk so negative and so bad about the country. I just want to be clear. There's no place in this world that is going to be 100% perfect. I don't know no place that you're going to go that you're going to get 100% of what you want. Even like when you're voting for your president, right? You're never going to get 100% of what you want. I think all politicians are crooks. I think all politicians, they just say what they want to say. Hence why a lot of us end up in the situations with the leaders that we have because of that reason. Like people live in delusion. Like I think that, for example, I hate talking about politics, but I'm gonna just give you this prime example. Trump literally told everybody what he was gonna do. Literally, the man said exactly what he was gonna do, and now everyone's surprised at the things that he's doing. And it's like, why are you guys surprised? This is what he said. And one person said, yeah, but I didn't think he was really going to do it. This is people living in delusion. You like to live in Narnia. You like to live in La La Land. You like to live in the Lulu Land. And then when you live in Lulu Land and then things don't go as to what you thought was supposed to happen, then you're like upset. And then people are surprised. You're not surprised, but trust and believe there are people that are extremely surprised about this behavior um from Trump. People are super surprised, especially the Latinos. Okay, the Latinos for Trump, they are shook. Okay, they are shocked. They are like, I cannot believe it. So, all right. So I'm looking at my phone because I told you guys, in order to keep this live on schedule, I had to write everything down so we don't miss anything. All right. So people prefer comfort over truth. We kind of got into that already, but um I had run across, yeah, he is extremely popular because Trump is saying everything that people wish they could say. Well, certain type of people they wish that they could say, but there's so much censorship and people feeling like they don't have a freedom of speech to say how they truly feel. And this man is just making people very comfortable to say whatever he wants. But you know what? I'm not mad at it because if you don't like me, I want to know that you like me. Don't like me. Don't pretend like you like me, but you really don't. You know what I mean? So I totally get it. Guys, I am so stuck. If I'm like talking like mellow, you guys know I'm not feeling the best right now. I feel horrible. All right, so I have run across a couple of TikTok videos about people talking about living in Panama. I mean, people who has been here for like maybe 2 weeks, and all of a sudden everyone is an expert about moving to Panama. And trust me, I already know how this whole thing goes down. When you start to do YouTube videos and you start talking about moving to Panama and you're highlighting all the amazing things about Panama, then all these companies start to reach out to you. And good morning, Wajna. And when these companies start reaching out to you, they're reaching out to you because they see you as a what's the word I want to say? They see you as a like a como un gancho, right? To reel people in, bait, right? To reel these people in for their own particular services. And so it's not beneficial for people to be transparent. I'm gonna just be very honest with you. I personally do not have brand deals. I personally, do not work with companies. So I don't have I don't have that obligation to anyone to have to withhold information or withhold truth. And so a lot of these companies, they are using YouTube as it's a business opportunity, and it's not for business. I'm saying, like, whether they're trying to sell you a tour, or if they're trying to sell you um immigration services, or lawyers or whatever. It's a business for a lot of people. And I get it. I'm not knocking on nobody's hustles, right? But I think it's also a disgrace for people to be blindly led into a situation because they end up in like, I have a cousin, right? This is my blood relative, and he decided that he wanted to move to Panama based on what he was seeing on Instagram. Not Instagram, sorry, on YouTube. Not what I said, but what everybody else was saying. The delusional part of it, okay? And so he moved to Panama, and he's like, "Oh God, no, he hates it. He's gonna go to Boquete." Okay. He decides that he was gonna go move to Boquete, and guess what? He didn't like it either. Why? Because he didn't know that Panama was like this. This is what he said, not my words, his words. He didn't know Panama was like this. Is it something that's unbearable? No, but again, if you have the right guidance and if people are transparent, more transparent with a lot of the information that they give, it could avoid people having this type of sentiments and feelings about moving to Panama. And this is the problem that I have with people and social media, right? If you are going to be leading people into moving to places, you're doing not even like really relocation tours or anything like that, because it's not really about that. I'm talking about the content that people put out. You have to be honest with people, because people are going to start reaching out to you, because based on what they see that you post on social media. And instead of thinking about it like, okay, well, this is a way for me to make a quick buck, why are you thinking about just today and not for the future? Me personally, I'm not trying to sell you a dream. Yeah, I want you to come to my events, but if you don't come to my events, that's cool too. Someone else is going to come to my events. But I also cannot, it's just not in my spirit to blindly lead people into things. Like, I cannot. Like, I can't. What did he not like about the city and about Boquete? So I think it wasn't per se that he didn't like the city. He just didn't like the way things were, how things are gone about in Panama. He didn't like it. He was so caught up in the notion of, okay, this is how it is in, it is where I'm from. And where I'm from, this is how it is. I do not advise anybody, like, if you are planning to move to Panama, because there's people that I've heard they sold their houses, they sold everything that they own or whatever to move to Panama, and then they're in a situation like, okay, I don't really like this place. I'd rather go back to the States or whatever, and then they go home to nothing. I think more so with his situation, it wasn't that he didn't like, because he was staying in a good community in the city, so it wasn't like that was an issue. He just didn't like the way things ran. Like, this is not America. You understand what I'm saying? Panama's a very, very laid back country. People do things on their own time. You have to keep on following up if you want things done. For example, I think I've mentioned this story before. Like, when I had my daughter, my daughter was born here. She was also actually born at Punta Pacifica Hospital, one of the best hospitals, I personally think. It's a little costly, okay, but it's one of the best hospitals. They have some of the best doctors. No, this is not I'm not getting paid to say this either. And you guys know I do not give references like that, and I don't give referrals, because referrals, I don't get nothing out of it. But she was born at Punta Pacifica Hospital, and I feel like that was the best decision for me. But the problem is that the person that works there, so when you have a baby, after you have the baby, you have to recognize the baby. So the person comes, just like in the States, they come, the father has to fill out the birth certificate, and the mom has to fill out the birth certificate. And, you give the baby's name, whatever. So my daughter's father, he wasn't there because I had my daughter early. So he was supposed to come to Panama during my due date. like for my due date. Gia was supposed to be born the 28th of March. She actually was born 2 weeks before. So when I had the baby, he was not there. So we had to wait the 2 weeks for him to come to do the birth certificate. So when he comes to do the birth certificate, he has a suffix. I said prefix. He has a suffix in his name, right? Everybody knows in Panama you do not use suffix. So Panama does not use junior, senior, the third, the first. They don't use that. They just use the names. Homegirl decides that she's gonna put the third on my daughter's last name, like it was part of the last name. What I tell you, it was hell and hot water to get the third taken off her name because why? So her passport, because the American embassy knows that in Panama they make so much errors with people's names. And it's so crazy because even like my mom is born and raised in Panama and they spelled her last name wrong. So her American passport says one thing, but her Panamanian document says another thing, which is going to be a problem. And I told her that, girl, you need to get this fixed. She's like, oh, this is like this been like this for my whole life. I'm not going to fix it now. I said, yeah, but then in the future, if something happens to you because of this issue, it is going to cause an issue because Panama don't want to hear that. Panama don't want to hear that. They go, it's no gray area. It's either black or white. There's no gray in the middle. And so that's what she said. I guess that'll be my headache to deal with if something happens to her because my sister has no plans to move into Panama, right? Exactly. So this is the question. Why would you put that if she's not a boy? That's juniors. And so that is a question that I had asked. Okay. So for a whole year, I did not, I told you guys I'm sick. Okay. So for the whole year, for the whole first year of my daughter's life, I did not get her a cedula. So they have a cedula juvenil, which is for like children. It's an ID for children, right? And every time we would fly to the States, it was always a problem because they wanted me to prove that I was her mom and all this stuff. And they said the only way that I wouldn't have that issue is if I had a cedula. And like I'm explaining to immigration, I can't get it because her name is not spelled right on her documents. And I'm still in the process of fighting it. Of course, like I said, Panama there's no gray. It's either black and white. They don't want to hear no excuses. It's literally it is so crazy that let me tell you how crazy it is. One day I was traveling with my son. So my son was not born in Panama. Even though I have a cellular, even though our whole entire family is Panamanian, we had to put in documents for him for his residency, right? So a lot of people when they have because they changed the law. They changed the law. So yeah, that's another thing. So he had to get like a carnet, which is like an ID, like a residence card. Now he has a cellular now, but he had a residence card. And at the time, the residence card, it says he was born in the United States of America. And then it said on the bottom something about a visa, whatever. But he has an American passport and we were flying into America. You know, immigration stopped me. And this is years ago. This is before Trump. Immigration stopped me and said that he needed a visa. I said, why? Why does he need a visa? Why would he need a visa if he has a U.S. passport? Why? Oh, because on the bottom of the card it said visa. I said, sir, he's born in America and he's flying with an American passport, which means he's going back to his country. Why would he need a visa? You know what I'm saying? And that's the level of why I say like it's no gray areas, it's black and white. So anyway, I'm like, can I just speak to a supervisor? Because clearly you don't know what you're talking about. And I'm not about to go back and forth. I have to explain this to you. It doesn't even make any sense. Make a long story short, they let us pass. But this is the level of what I'm trying to say about there's no gray. It's either this or it's that. That is. It's no wiggle room. It's no none of that. So in the case with my daughter, I didn't have it because I was, fighting with these people to get this situation taken care of. It took, mind you, the lady who made the mistake, I contacted her because I had her phone number. And, after she's like, yeah, I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you figure it out or whatever. After that, I didn't hear gunfire from the lady. Lady disappeared, stopped answering my phone calls, anything. So literally, I was fighting in the tribunal for a year and a half to get the third removed off my daughter's last name. And I even went to a lawyer. Like, this is how crazy it is. I went to a lawyer and the lawyer told me to fix that, it was going to charge, they want to charge me $4,000 to fix that. And it didn't make any sense because you have to go to court and you have to go do all this or whatever. Just leave it like that. And this is how it is with a lot of people, a lot, especially black people, how a lot of black names, and I'm not talking about like Rodriguez, I'm not talking about these Vegas and Vargas and Lopez. No, I'm talking about people that have black West Indian names like Brown, James, Johnson, all those names, they frig up on all the names. I'm not even lying to you, right? And so for a lot of these people, like for me, I'm the type of person that I'm gonna fight to the end. I'm gonna do what I gotta do and I'm gonna take it to the end. I don't care what the situation is. If I know I'm in the right, it is not gonna stay like that. And so it took me damn near almost 2 years to finally get that third taken off of it. And trust me, I ran into a lot of roadblock blocks. And I say this to say this is one of the reasons why my cousin just didn't like it in Panama was because there's so much red tape and protocol to get something so simple taken care of. And so he left and he went back to the States. And like I said, not everybody is built like me. Not everybody is built to be able to like fight, especially if you don't speak the language, right? So I think it could be a discouraging because it becomes expensive because people don't know and they end up paying for a lawyer. I did not pay for a lawyer to take care of this. I did not pay for a lawyer at all to take care of this. All I did was I didn't speak to a supervisor. I was not talking to anybody in the front desk because I knew that people at the front desk could not help me. Okay. So I went straight to the boss. To eventually I ended up at the highest level, the person that was like the director, the assistant director. And it was so crazy because the secretary in the office of the vice president, the assistant vice president of the director of the tribunal, he said to me, and he spoke English, he was like, but why would they put the third if she's a girl? And in Panama, we don't even use that. I said, this is the argument that I was having. But this is what the problem is, right? The problem is that nobody wants to make a mistake because everyone is literally batshit scared of getting fired. And, one of the things that I learned with like running businesses, I can understand why people supervise with an iron fist because a lot of times when you are nice to people, especially your workers, and we come in with this Western world mentality or whatever, but a lot of people aren't used to that, so they kind of take advantage of it. They see it as a sign of weakness when you are nice to them. Me personally, I will go to establishments and I see how the supervisors treat their employees, and I'm like, damn, that's really messed up. Like, how could you treat somebody like that? But I see it, like I understand why. Do I think it's right? No, because not every one person is the same. But I do understand why they lead with an iron fist. So what happens is people make mistakes and then they start covering the mistakes, right? Because they're scared. So now when I come and I'm like, no, this is not right. Guess what? The person who made the mistake has to answer to their supervisor. And so they don't want their supervisor to know. So they have a friend that works in the office. Their friend is going to try to cover it up. And then that's what it is. They like everyone's trying to cover up this issue. It was so bad that when I went back to follow up, the person who had the case claimed that they called me on the phone and I told them that I wasn't going to go through with it, which was a damn lie because I didn't get no phone call from nobody. Why the heck would I call? Why would I tell a person, oh no, I'm not, after I went through all of that? Then they said, oh, that they needed a copy of my daughter's father's passport, that he had to come to Panama to fill out the paperwork or whatever. But I was like, well, why am I doing that when we filled out the paperwork the first time when he came? And he gave this information. Tell me why that information that was in the folder when he wrote the paperwork and everything, somebody took the paper out. Somebody took the paper out. Again, why? Because somebody's trying to cover. So by taking the paper out, right, now it's saying like, oh, he wasn't there. I said he was here. Okay. And then we look at another document. I said, obviously he was here because he filled this paper out. And this paperwork was filled out the same day. So that was a whole other issue because now they have to investigate who took the paper out, who was handling this case. So it became a case of everybody trying to cover their tracks because somebody made a mistake instead of admitting like, hey, you know what? I messed up. I did something wrong. How can we resolve it? Or they did it to try to, because they made the mistake, they try to deter me from continuously pushing this case because they don't want to get in trouble. And so I think that that is the reason why he left. And the bureaucracy is something that he could not deal with. I mean, America is what it is. Some people prefer American life, and I understand it. I'm not here to judge, okay? But there are certain situations where dealing with certain things in America is a lot easier than dealing with things right here. Like filing a simple complaint. For example, if you want to file a police report, right? You can't file a police report anywhere. You have to go to the district where wherever happened to file a police report. So all those things deters people from wanting to continue their life here. They're not going to talk about that on social media because it's not beneficial for them to talk about it on social media, or maybe because they just never been through it, so they don't feel like that is important. For me, I would share that information because why? If somebody else decides that they want to have a baby in Panama, or if they feel like they're going to live here, they're pregnant, they need to make sure that before you sign the birth certificate, that the child's name is spelled correctly and everybody's information is spelled correctly. Because guess what? It's gonna be a problem. It will be a problem, and it's gonna be hell and hot water to try to get it fixed. Um, those are the issues that I had to face when dealing with getting my cedula. The language barrier makes them look at you differently. They run around. The runaround that I had to go through with my uncle was crazy. Exactly. So simple. Something so. And then also another thing that you have to keep in mind, like back in the day in Panama, there wasn't electronics. There wasn't. So there's no real recordings or records. And if whatever records they do have, they have it in like boxes somewhere, it's archivado somewhere. And they have to go through a whole bunch of documents just to find it. And people don't want to do that. People are not trying to do that. Hold on, I need to get tissue. My nose is so stuffy. People don't want to do it. And so that's the problem. Nobody wants to get the job done. Nobody wants to go to the extra mile. They're just trying to go home and get a check. That's it. Nothing extra. Oh, Jody. Jody wasn't my friend. I didn't hang out with her. She was actually my employee. Jody's actually fine. She is working. I don't know where she's working. I haven't seen her in a while because we don't live close to each other at all. But I have spoken to her briefly on social media, whatever. But everyone's living their life. Exactly. And that's another thing. Like if you don't know somebody that could be there to assist you, child, I don't know what you're gonna do. So again, for people who are that don't live here, I mean that are just like they're expats and they're trying to get things done, it could be a very costly because you have to hire a translator, you have to maybe hire an attorney to get certain things done, and it could be a little expensive. Y'all know I'm sick, okay? But I forced myself to do this live because I promise you. Good morning, Daryl. Yeah, I don't go and get my license renewed anymore by going into the office. I do it from my cell phone now. So as of I think it was last year, 2 years, they have this new program where if you need to renew your license, you can do everything online. And that's how I've been doing it online. And it's easy breezy. And then they deliver the license to your house. That is the best thing to do. If you need to renew your license online. All right. We stay on a tangent, y'all. Um All right. So the whole rise of misleading content about Panama, this is one of the things that grinds my gears. And the reason why it grinds my ears, no, because it has nothing to do with the mayor. They started doing this way before he became the mayor. So it has nothing to do with him. Oh yeah. Okay. So one of the examples of misleading narratives that grinds my gears with people is when people say, "Oh my God, Panama is so cheap." And they be like, "Oh my God, Panama is so cheap." Da, da, da. Panama is not cheap. Okay, It all literally depends on what type of lifestyles that you want. If you are living a minimal lifestyle, then you can find that too. But 9 out of 10 times, if you're coming from America, you're not trying to live in a barrios. Okay, you're not gonna live in the places where the rent is $200 a month. You're not gonna want to do that. So stop lying to people and telling people that like it is not. It depends on your lifestyle, where you want to live, your budget. You know what I'm saying? Like all that just depends. So when I hear they like, oh, Panama's so cheap, and then this is the reason why it grinds my gears is because, for example, I told you the guys this in one of my other lives. You come into establishments, and then when the stuff is at $2, they're like, oh my god, that is too expensive. Blah 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 blah. Dude, a lot of these places, a lot of these things, especially if you get it, for example, River Smith is not cheap. River Smith is expensive. Okay. And I understand why it's expensive. You're not leaving River Smith without spending $100. The least that I ever spent in River Smith was like 60. And I understand that because there are in River Smith is a lot of imported goods. If you want imported goods, obviously you're going to have to pay to bring these products in. They have to pay taxes on them. You have to pay for different things. You have to pay to get these these products registered here in Panama. That is not cheap. It is not cheap. Drink some ginger ale mixed with orange juice. I know it sounds weird, but it's actually good. It actually is pretty good, and it helps you bring the mucus and pelvic from you. Oh my god, it's so bad, y'all. I feel like I need to go get antibiotics at this point because I'm like all right here, like my sinuses, like here in my eyes. It hurts, and I can barely breathe. Yes. Okay. In that sense, if you want to talk about Ubers are cheap. But guess what? Uber is cheap for you, but there are people that can't afford Ubers, so they rather take the train because the train is cheaper. The train is what, 25 cents, right? The train is 50 or 25. 35. The train is 50 and 35 cents compared to certain places that you go. You paying $5 when you could take a train that is 50 cents or 25. So cheap is definitely depending on the person and what they pockets hold. Like when people come into the store and they're like, "Oh, I want some hair, but I want cheap." You gotta tell me what cheap is because for me, my cheap is a different price from what your cheap is gonna be. Some people say cheap is like $20, while other people feel like no, cheap is $1.75. So yeah. Okay, so yeah, I'm not saying that Ubers are not inexpensive compared to the United States of America. It is extremely inexpensive. It is inexpensive in America, as well as the taxis here are inexpensive in Panama, or they're cheaper than if it was in America. But who's taking a yellow cab? I specifically told you guys don't take no yellow cabs. I also don't take in drive because the taxis be in drivers. I don't trust them. And then sometimes with in drive, it be a different person that's driving a car. No thanks. I'm good, love. Another misconception that I see that people say about Panama is that everybody speaks English. Everybody in Panama does not speak English. I don't know where you guys got that from. Do people speak Spanish? I mean English in Panama? Yes, there are people that speak English in Panama or or basic English, but everybody does not speak English in Panama. I don't know who said that, where you guys got that from, why are you guys posting this on social media. The first language in Panama is Espanol, okay? Is Spanish. All your documents that you receive is going to be in Spanish. No one's translating anything like they do in America, where you go get a form, you go to a government office, they got it in Mandarin, French, Spanish. No, it's not like that. The first language in Panama is Spanish. Another thing that there's a misconception is that in Panama there's no crime. God darn it. Crime is everywhere in the world. This is not heaven. Okay. There's crime every single place in this world. I don't care what nobody say or whatever. Who told you the second official language in Panama is English? How is the second official language in Panama English when literally when you go to any government office, everything is in Spanish? Literally everything is in Spanish. Who told you guys that? I don't know. If that's the case, if that is the case, he said, John Panama said it is. If that is the case, if the second official language in how is it that there are politicians that do not speak English? How is it that they are the president of the United States, the president of Panama does not speak English? They had to have a translator, and the guy that came from America spoke Spanish. Explain to me how is that? No, you guys want to make it the official second language. So you guys made it a second language. It is not because people in Bocas and Bastimento said such are born speaking the native English. People from Bastimento in Bocas are people that come from other islands that settle there. Okay. And second of all, Bocas and Bastimento is just a small part of a whole entire country. And they don't even speak English, they speak patois. I have yet to hear Molino speak English. You heard Molino speak English? Me neither. Yeah, girl, it's crazy. I don't even know how I got sick. Like I don't even be outside like that. Let me see. Let me hear Molino speak in English. Hold on, child. We gonna put an end to this. That's what they said. President. The only person that I know that's in politics that speak English is Mayor, and that's only because his mom was a Jamaican. English is the second and common use, but official is Spanish. Exactly. English is used, but it's not the second official language in Panama. Exactly. Because it's not. You know what is so crazy that a couple of years ago, they was banning people from speaking English. Like the black people that came to Panama, they was banning them from speaking. You know the West Indians. You know how I talk about that all the time. They banned them from speaking English. They was like, oh, you can't speak English, blah blah blah. And nowadays, the people that are speaking English are all the rich people that can afford to send their kids to international schools and private schools that speak English. And to me, I just think that's crazy. And then the people that supposed to speak English with last names like Johnson, last names like James, last name like Brown, last names like they have all these English names, can't speak it. Let me see. I y'all gonna have to send me a video. I have yet to hear this man speak English yet. Yet I have yet to see this man speak English. I don't know what y'all saw. It must have been a voiceover, but I have yet to hear Molino speak English. He graduated from Tulane. What does it say? He went to Tulane. Try graduating from Tulane with no English. I think that's American propaganda. It is, Shayna. Look it up. It's in writing. That has been going on since forever. Panamanian president urges the U.S. to help his country with its influx of migrants. Maybe he does speak English. Me personally, I haven't heard him speak English. I've heard Maya speak English, but I have not heard him speak English not once. Bastimientos is really small, and not everyone there even speaks Spanish. Where did you post the link? Hold on, let me see. You post the link where? I need to see this. If he speak English, that's a shocker to me because I have yet to hear or like at all. I've never heard this man speak English ever. I know Martinelli speaks English. I was thinking, about moving to Panama, but then when I went to the bank and couldn't withdraw more than $300, I was it something they was charging you $5 for every transaction. Yep, you can only withdraw for $300 a day, and they raised it because okay. So first of all, before COVID, it was $500, and then before that, then after that, it was 250 after COVID. No, 200, 250. So I guess it's 300 now. Exactly. Let me see what Chat GBT says. Anyway, I say this all to say that all these misconceptions and people like having these views on based on what people are putting out there about Panama is what causes unrealistic expectations. For example, you know, I didn't look it up yet, but somebody else looked it up and said that Chat GPT says that English is the second official language in Panama. I do not believe that is true. I've lived here for a very long time and everybody does not speak English. Okay. Try walking into a government office and start speaking English to somebody, they're gonna look at you like you crazy. For example, I went to the municipio, I was doing some thing in the municipio, and I decided I'm gonna speak English because I felt like if I spoke English, then they're gonna try to help me even more because I realized that when you speak Spanish and you go to certain government office, they're least likely to treat you nice. Not nice, but they're just like whatever. But when you speak English and they feel like you're a foreigner, they're gonna extend themselves to try to help you. And I put this to test. This is just me. Do not blow me up because I don't want people to notice me and then be like, oh, that's the girl, whatever. They went out of their way to help me. So I be like, went out of their way. Everybody's like, no, I don't speak English. I don't speak English. They found some girl that supposedly spoke English. The girl did not speak English properly. But the point is that if in true it is the second most spoken language, which there are people that speak Spanish, but it's everybody does not speak English. Sorry. Everyone does not speak English. Try going into a government office talking to somebody in English and see how far you go. Yeah, because that part, the place in Multiplaza, that's the financial district. Like that part of Multiplaza is the financial district. So, but for people who don't live in Multiplaza, where you go? people don't want to open up Panamanian bank accounts, and then it's like, even if you open up a Panamanian bank account and you don't have income here, how is the money getting into your bank account? I know some people say that they open it, they have a bank account with Nacional, like a lot of veterans, and they have their money deposited into their Panamanian bank. But I can't give you any advice on that because I have no idea. But even like I have a Panamanian bank account or whatever, but I barely like keep funds in it because I don't get no direct deposits. Thank you. Thank you. And so this comment is really funny. Like when it says that they be looking at you sideways when you speak in English, like you better. So people do have that like perception, and I've seen it on TikTok, where a lot of TikTokers from here, they have this thing where they talk like English and Spanish, like Spanglish mixed together, and so they be like, "Oh my God, yo fui pa Starbucks and Multiplaza y me compré un caramel macchiato in Starbucks. Oh my God, te voy a decir, estaba rico. Oh my God, it was so good." And so when I've seen in the comment section, they're like, "Oh, you think you do." Well, this is what they saying to the person, obviously in Spanish, but I'm saying in English that, "Oh, you think you a gringo? You think you a gringo? Or you think you this?" So I can understand why um you left that comment, because sometimes people feel like if you speak English, you trying to be like an American. Let's see. Let's look it up. What is the official language in Panama? Spanish. It says Spanish, as previously mentioned. Spanish is the official language of Panama. The majority of population of Panama speaks Spanish in business, government, and education. Panamanian Spanish has a few unique features that reflect the country. Okay, let's look up. What is the second official language in Panama? While Spanish is the official language of Panama, English is widely spoken, particularly amongst professionals and in business or governmental areas, and is considered the second most common language. This is a lie. I don't know who put this up here. You can, I swear to you, you can go into any government building. They are not going to speak to you in English. They're not even going to know what the heck you're talking about. Like I promise you, I'm not even making this up. I don't care what the hell what this AI thing is saying right here. I'm talking real life. This is a lie. English is the second most common language, with a significant portion of the Panamanian population being fluent in it. Besides Spanish and English, Panama also has indigenous language spoken, including Goyami, Abre, Hembra, and Cuna. Panama's Creole English, a dialect of Jamaican Patois and English based in Creole spoken in Bocas del Toro province, in Bocas, and in Spanish. I mean, and in Cologne. I promise you, like I have been in many government buildings and they do not speak English. Okay, plenty. Let's talk about customer service in the stores and malls. La gente trae un fucking actitud. Will Trump take back canal? Are they talking about it? I'm not. I told you guys I don't watch the news, and I don't really like. I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to live day by day and keep my nose above water. In multi-plaza, English is spoken. Safe to say, in multi-plaza, people you're going to find more people speaking Spanish because Multiplaza is a mall that's catered to tourists. If you go to a local mall, like if you go to Albrook, if you go to Metro Mall, especially Metro Mall, if you go to Metro Mall, which is a local mall, they're not speaking any English. If you go into the mall in 24 de Diciembre, they're also not speaking English. You cannot compare what is going on in Multiplaza or in areas like Paitilla or in the hospital in what's the hospital? Punta Pacifica. Those hospitals are specifically geared towards foreigners, diplomats, politicians, people that are a little bit more affluent, and tourists. Because if something happens to you, a tourist, that is the hospital that they're going to take you. So of course they're going to speak English. I'm talking about this is the thing, and I would say this a lot about like expats or whatever. They think that their bubble reflects the whole entire country. The country is a huge country, like literally. And outside of Punta Pacifica, Paitilla, and what's the other one? Costa del Este, there's a whole nother world. Okay? There's a whole nother world of people. Huge, 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 huge. It's a whole nother world that is besides that area. So yeah, if you do go to Multiplaza, you're gonna probably find people that speak English because that mall is geared towards tourists. Panamanian customer service is the worst. My God, bitter woman as soon as you enter the Tocumen. Are you talking about the airport? Can't ask them shit like they mad at you asking them to do their job. Panamanian bank accounts are for Colombians. If you know, you know, haha. That's why at the mall there are 50 shoe stores and nobody in them. We hope Trump comes and takes it already. The people who run it just steals. Fully support Trump taking it back. The party's over for these crooks. Y'all taking this to a whole nother level, child. In the hood when I stay, River Down, El Ghetto. Oh, so you in Rio Bajo, but Rio Bajo is also different. Like that's West Indian descent. But I bet you the new generation kids don't speak no English, but I bet you it's the old heads, like the old heads, you know, the 50 and up. They speak English, I'm sure. Oh no, you eat Denny's? Oh, I no, thank you. Ugh. Yeah, but you got so this goes back to the topic that I had said before. Like in Panama is very much black and white. Like this is the rules and regulations. You can't go into government buildings with shorts on. It is what it is. You have to wear you can't go out with your back out. You know, in America, yeah, you can, but in Panama you can't. It is what it is. Like you just have to like there's certain things that you just have to abide by. You can't try to force American rules into a whole nother country. It is what it is. That's how it is. See, and not even in the States. So this is one of the main issues that a lot of expats have. Like, and you know, they keep on comparing every single thing to the state. This is Panama. Like, you cannot go into government buildings. You can't go into the bank. You can't wear shorts. That's their rules. Like, I don't make the rules. That's what it is, and you just have to abide by them. You can't go with your back out. You can't. You have to wear like a cardigan. It is what it is. Yeah, in the States, but we're not in the States. We are in Panama, and that's just the way it is. Do certain things don't make sense? No. For example, in my store, I'd be like, you can't take pictures. People get upset. Well, why can't I take pictures? Because you can't take pictures. I don't need to explain to you why you can't take pictures. And people get upset when they can't take pictures because 9 out of 10 times, y'all taking pictures to go send it to different places to go and try to like compare and prices. I don't got time. Don't take no pictures in my store. Wow, you guys are really commenting. There's so many comments here. Good morning, Mahalia. Exactly. So, like in Real, yes, people are going to speak English, but it's going to be like the older folks, you know, the younger folks, they don't be knowing nothing. They don't know nothing about no English. They'll understand it. Look, my daughter's babysitter, she speak English. Her grandmother was a Jamaican. Her kids don't speak no English. And I'm like, why your kids don't speak no English? And they be like, oh, them is a black and sorry. I mean, practically, Panama is literally turning into Little Colombia right now. So, I mean, I'm telling you, it's a hard fight. I'm trying to fight the fight. I'm trying to like, keep the culture alive, but child, it ain't easy. It is not easy. I'm trying to see where everybody's going right now. most people, most folks in Rio lived in BK for really. I didn't know that. I didn't know anybody that live in Rio. They used to live in the States. The people that live in the States now, that used to live in the States and moved back to Panama, they live in areas like Brisas. I don't know about them living in Rio, but I could be wrong. I have no idea. I honestly think like this whole English narrative thing, because so you guys know I'm not really in the expat community. I'm not really in the expat community, but somebody did tell me that a couple of expats was trying to push to change the law to make English the first language. I don't know how, I don't know how true this is because I don't know. This is just hearsay, allegedly, but I don't know how y'all be trying to come to other people country and colonize it. Like that's crazy to me. And not only that, like I was on Facebook just scrolling on Facebook, and they have like this whole big drama right now on Facebook with a whole thing about expats versus locals, and like y'all everyone's beefing right now, and I'm just like, wow, like this is insane. Like how is this happening? Like there's a whole feed right now on Facebook about this particular person. Mad drama. And apparently, this group of expats that are trying to change the official language to like they're trying to force it, and I'm just like, wow, like how y'all come to a next man country and this is it baffles me. It baffles me. I don't allegedly this is the word on the street. Allegedly, I do not know. I'm not trying to get sued. Well, I say no name, so it doesn't matter, but that is what the words on the street is. There's like another group on Facebook. Like I'm not really in these groups. Like I just go in sometimes like to see what's going on because my life is so busy, y'all. Like I got a million and one things that I got going on. So I just pop in and pop out, and I had seen this post about this person or whatever, like taking advantage of locals, and if anybody goes against her, then she's like allegedly like what did it say in there? Like she allegedly crushes the person because she has money and taking advantage. It was crazy, and I was like, wow, this is. I'm telling you, y'all crazy. They're gonna have to force some money to make it happen because we all know that PTY works with money. Do you think Panama should adapt the laws of Thailand? I don't know what the laws of Thailand is, so I can't I can't give my opinion on something that I don't know. Technically, the whole expats name is so stupid. Like you're an immigrant at the end of the day. Sorry. Y'all know I'm sick. So if I'm coughing, sniffling, whatever, you guys know I'm sick. I promised that I was going to do something and I wanted to be a woman of my word. So here I am. You bought a house in Thailand? You built a house in Thailand? How do we get in touch with the expat group? You got to join it on Facebook. Like it's on. They have different expat groups in on Facebook, and you join it. I have exited out. I had to get out of a few of them because they were so messy. I was like, okay, this ain't my thing. Not positive at all. But there are others that I felt like was positive, but as of late, it's been drama in these groups, y'all. I don't know what the laws is in Thailand. So I have a question that I want to ask you guys. Okay, so what is the biggest lie, or have you ever believed something and then you found out once you got in Panama that it was not true, like what was said was not true? If so, leave it in the comment section. I would love to hear. Okay, that is one question. And then the second question that I have, what is the most misleading thing that you've seen about moving abroad? I'm not telling y'all no names. I am not telling you guys no names. Why? So y'all could go and get me reported, and then all of a sudden I got a cease and desist, and I'm being sued for what is it? Defamation? No, I'm good. They ain't listening to me, child. Everyone thinks that what I say, whenever I say anything, I am like I'm not telling the truth. So it is what it is. But the funny thing is you're doing more than all of them and nobody's supporting like that. I don't see no big pages showing you love like Flow to Musica Plena. Yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. I realize that I am a one woman army and I am not here to lick anyone's booty hole. I'm not here to beg. I'm not here to open up my legs. I'm not here to do any of those things. I'm literally here to do what God put me on this earth to do. And it is what it is. God has blessed me and has put some amazing people in my life to help me push forth with what I'm doing and what I'm trying to do for the country. Um, I have gotten lots of words from encouragement from people that I do not know. I also have been supported by a lot of YouTuber, like people that watch my channel. And even though I don't have a huge following on YouTube, but I have like 7,000 people, 7,000 and plus. But I can assure you that one person that subscribed to my channel, she came to my event and she brought 50 people to my event. And for that, I'm grateful. So even if other people don't push me and other people don't want me on their platforms and other people don't see what I'm doing, there are other people who do see what I'm doing. I'm not trying to be in the fanandula. I'm not trying to be in anybody's face. I'm trying to just work, do whatever, and have people, when they do come and visit Panama, enjoy themselves the way I would want the red carpet to be rolled out to me. And so I have actually I'm gonna play it for you guys because I thought this was the sweetest thing that anybody has ever said to me, to the point where I wanted to cry. And you know how I realized that this thing is a joke? There are people that have been tagging me in a post by this travel influencer here in Panama. I mean, he's not in Panama, but he travels all over the place, and he like highlights different countries or whatever. So in the video he has said like, "Oh, tag somebody that's in Panama that's doing amazing things, blah blah." And so many people tagged me, and he only responded to people that had blue checks. That is when I realized that it's a fraud. Anyway, so this is what somebody has sent to me, and I thought it was the sweetest thing ever. I really want you to keep doing what you're doing. After my mom passed, I was depressed for a good 6 months, and Panama was my first vacation back outside. I'm always on vacation. I'm always traveling, but man, I was going through it. But Panama was my first time back out, and you showed so much love, so much grace. Like, your hospitality was so great. And, you went above and beyond for us. And I appreciate it so much because I had such a good time, such amazing people. The vibes was everything. So just know that you're not just out here just doing work, and that your work is going way further than you might even expect. And you never know who you're helping get through something, and I really love that for you, and I love what you're doing for the people. Keep doing that shit. You got it, girl. So when I hear messages like that, like this particular message, I literally cried because that person, I know who I met her at one of the rum and brunch events, and I had no idea that her mom had passed away a few months. And the fact that she said that my event helped her, that was her first trip, I had given her grace and I had helped out without me even notice, I'm good with that. I'm not trying to be in the fanandula. I'm trying to change lives. I'm trying to give people an experience that when they come to Panama, they're like, you know what? I want to come back. But I'm also not going to be delusional about it and feed people a bunch of lies either. So I'm okay. Like I said, I can only be authentically who I am. If people like it, they like it. They don't, it is what it is. I try to be extremely authentic and I try to tell people, the truth because I hate to mislead people. I don't like people to mislead me as well. And so it is what it is. I I don't have no fancy equipment. I don't have a whole fancy team like Mr. Beast that's gonna follow me around. I don't have a team of editors. It's just me, myself, and I and my two pick me them. Okay, so it is what it is. I can't watch nothing else that nobody else is doing. I can only focus on my own race, and I can only focus on what I'm doing. It is what it is. I don't know what else to tell you guys. Oh, next week I'm actually going away. My friend, one of my best friends is she is getting married, so I'm going to her wedding, so I won't be around next week. Thank you. Shout out to the Trinity Massive. Shout out to the Trinity Massive. Oh, the question. Hold on, I'm gonna tell you what the question was. I said, have you ever believed something online and then you found out that it wasn't true? And the second question was, what's the most misleading thing that you've seen when moving abroad? Okay, congrats. Let me tell you something. Black people, we as black people, we have a very much crab in a barrel mentality. Like we have this mentality. Like I see people all the time saying, like, oh yeah, we have to support our own, we have to support this, we have to support that. But in reality, you guys do not. And this doesn't go for everybody. I'm not talking about the people who follow me. I'm just talking about like in general. Black people don't like to see other black people succeed. Period. Okay. It is what it is. I have come to that realization that we still have a lot of emotional trauma that we are still generations after generations that we're still trying to heal from. And until we heal as a community, we will never be like other communities that help each other. Like Chinese people, they go to whatever country, they have their community that helps them out. Okay. We have the Jewish community that they help each other out as well. Um and I think that black people are they're the only community that we fight against our own. Like it is what it is what it is. Like there's nothing that is going to change my mind. Let me tell you something. I told you guys I really have to do another I'm gonna do another live stream, but the live stream is gonna be a private one. I have seen other black people come to Panama and do other black people dirty. Not me per se. I haven't gotten dirty. Well, I kind of, but not really. But I'm not in the mix. So, but I've heard because I am friends with a few expats, not that many, and they have told me stories of how other expats scheme off of other people. And I'm saying to myself, wow, you a black man and you trying to scheme off another black person. Like, that's wild to me. Sorry, guys. I'm responding to. I have my computer right next to me. So, because I told you guys, I'm a one woman army. I do everything by myself. So, Customer service in America is going down, down, down. Sometimes it's worse than countries where customer service is not a thing. I give respect and energy, but teach that support and tips are earned. Oh my God, there's so much questions going on right now. I'm trying to go through them. I think pushing English in Panama would be the best thing for Panama. Better than staying behind like the rest who choose Spanish as a first language. I don't know. Why do you say that? What is your reason for believing such thing? Like why do you feel that? Because that's like saying, oh, like if you go to China. Well, I can't even say China because China's pushing English heavy. Like people who want to make some money teach English in China. Um, but that's just like going to whatever country. Why do you feel like English? And this is just a question I'm just asking. Why do you feel like English is more value than Spanish? I'm just asking. Like I thought being bilingual was a positive. Like even if like speaking two languages, I think that's an amazing thing. But why do you feel like in Panama they should push English as a second language opposed to it being Spanish? I'm just curious to know what your reasoning behind that is. Yeah, the way I Vivo business is stressful. I'm not even gonna lie to you and act like it's not. It is. I'm in the comment section, y'all. That's why I'm looking over here. I'm looking at the comment section. Melanated people have been initially divided and conquered. Everyone needs to read Willie Lynch letter to know the curse of being pawns on a chessboard and take back their freedom. The problem is that a lot of these places where black people are, like for example Panama, there's black people in Panama, they don't really know their history, they don't know where they come from, not everybody, but they don't even really know the history, the true history of Panama. um there's somebody that I know that very intelligent young man, but he doesn't even know what the cimarron is. He has no idea what about the history, and I'm like, wow, you were in the university and you don't know, you don't know your history like that. To me, that's crazy. I kind of agree with you. I don't know, y'all. It's so much deep rooted hate. It's just crazy. Like it's just really, really crazy. And I just wish that people would just be a little bit transparent. So this was actually a really, really good discussion, and this live was really jumping today. Thank you, everybody, for like participating and giving your views. Like, yeah, it is. It is. Like, I have I'm gonna give you guys an example. Like I literally try to do good business with people all the time, and I feel like people, I don't know what it is here. Well, not only here, because I spoke to another another person that I know that does like similar things that I do, but in like another country, and they said they experience the same thing. Like, I'm paying you for a service. I expect the service. What is the problem? Like, what is the problem? So moving forward, you got one time to mess it up for me. And I'm just like, I'm done. I am very annoyed by a couple of people here already with the lack of business principles. And if they keep on playing with me, I'm gonna air their asses out on social media. Cause that's the only way. So yeah. Who's everybody trying to learn English though? This is what I'm saying. Like, who's trying to learn English? Um, not history. Uh, especially not Black history. I okay, so like when I do ramen brunches, I always, especially like the big ones, I always try to bring a performance aspect to it, and I always bring the Congos. I have a Diablo. I explain the history of the Diablo. I explain the history of the Congos because every time you go to an event, you always see the pollera, which is uh the colonials dance or whatever. You barely even like what, I don't know what it is. It's like for some reason, like when it comes to Black culture or Black history, it's always shunned down upon. Like it's something that people just don't want you to know about it. And I think it's so beautiful. Like I went to the Bautizo del Diablo on Ash Wednesday, which is the Wednesday after Carnival. And I said I was gonna make a vlog about this, but I'm trying, y'all. Work with me. I still have the footage here that I want to share with you guys. And just the cultural aspect of it. For you, those of you who do not know, I used to dance congo in a group in Brooklyn called Basilio Moat group. I used to dance typico. I used to dance congo. If I find some pictures, I'll show you guys. I gotta go to my parents' house to look through the photo album. So I'm very much into Congo. I'm very much into the history of Congo. I'm very much into anything that has to do with the history of African and of African culture, African spirituality, like knowing about it, and why we do certain things as Black people. I love it, right? And so I'm gonna be there. If you're gonna do a festival de Congos, I'm gonna go. If it's a festival of the Festival del Diablo, I'm gonna go because I just love it. And it's just amazing to me how when they talk about Panamanian culture and tourism in Panama, they don't mention anything about that. They don't mention anything about that. And to me, it has it's so deep rooted in culture and history and just learning about it from the bells that's on the Diablo's feet, from the reason why they wear black and red, for the reason why the women wore the patchwork dresses, the Congo outfit, which is like a form of, they're not even included in the mil polleras. Okay, when they do the mil polleras in las tablas, you barely see anybody with a Congo pollera on, right? And it's like, why? Why is it that when it comes to anything that has to do with Africa or Black or the religion, why is it always looked towards as bad? And I'm telling you this too because as a Black YouTuber who's one of the first person that was ever doing anything, any content related to Panama, and how I am shunned on a daily basis, I'm just looking at it like, okay, I know it's not only me because I don't articulate my words in a certain type of way, because I'm not like, I don't present my content in a certain type of way or whatever. I'm the blueprint for a lot of people. No shade, no tea. Let me tell you something. I've been in Cologne so much. Like Every weekend, I'm literally in Cologne. This weekend, I don't think I'm going to Cologne, but I have been in Los Lagos. I have been to, everybody knows my family is from Cologne. That's no secret or whatever. I love Cologne. I'm outside, okay, when I'm in Cologne. And honestly speaking, the way people look or think about Cologne is really, really sad. I'm not even gonna lie to you. And let me tell you something. There's people in Cologne whose houses look better than mine, and whose houses look better than a lot of people, and they're living very good. They have really good jobs. And look, my friend and his wife, I told him, you say you're gonna have to have a room for me because I'm gonna be here so much to the point that you're gonna be like, you gotta go. I love their house. I love where they live. I love their house. Like I just love it. Crazy. Anyway, guys, so yeah, that's it for today's live. Well, I've been on here for what? Jesus, an hour and 30 minutes. Okay. So I just want to leave and conclude this with my final thoughts, right? Anybody who plan to or planning to move to Panama, I would advise people to do your own research outside of YouTube. So yeah, you can go on YouTube, you can you can follow whatever YouTubers you choose, but I would do my own research, okay? Meaning come down here for a few months and see for yourself before you finally decide to make that move. That is my opinion. Do not go based on what people are saying or what you see on social media, including me. You could take what I say, just take it with a grain of salt, child. Do not take my word for Bible. Come see for yourself. So I would say do your own research. Um, yeah. Hey Javon, kind of late. You did? Which rum and brunch did you come to? All right, guys. So thank you guys for tuning in to today's live. It was very fun. I pushed through this live after, even though I feel like crap right now. I think I have like a sinus infection, which I'm gonna see the doctor again because what the heck. And then we're gonna continue this tomorrow. Tomorrow's what? Oh my goodness, Friday is 1 week of live streams, y'all. I'm doing it. Oh, you had a ball? Okay. Oh, shout out to my rum and brunchers. Um, Yeah. So this Saturday, for those of you who don't, I said it in the beginning of the video, this Saturday is Tropical Vibes Saturday, which is a night party for those of you who are not, because rum and brunch, I'm not going to have rum and brunch in April. I don't think I'm doing an April rum and brunch, and I'm not doing a May one. Well, if I am going to do the May one, but the May one is not going to be the first week of May because it's a holiday and all this stuff. So I'm not going to do that. So it's probably going to be pushed back. But April Rum and Brunch is canceled. But we have Tropical Vibe Saturday, which is a nighttime Saturday event that people already have bought tickets to. So if you want to, you could come out Saturday night and come vibe with us to authentic Afro Caribbean vibes. And yeah, it's going to be a vibe, y'all. So I hope to see you guys there. I'm so glad that people who have attended Rum and Brunch have positive reviews, especially earlier on. It was difficult, but we're getting better. Estamos mejorando la costa, está mejorando la vaina. And which each event that I do, I promise it will be better. And so yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I'm gonna catch you guys tomorrow at 12 o'clock. Okay, tomorrow's live will be at 12. Okay. So I'll see you guys tomorrow at 12. Of course, we'll have new topics that we're going to discuss. And of course, the comment section, we always lead it on to something different. But, it's all in the love of the game. Thank you guys for supporting me. I truly, truly appreciate you guys, especially my day ones that have been following me for over 5 years when I only had like 200 subscribers. I'm trying to get to 10K. So, like, share, and do all that good stuff. Thank you again for tuning in to my videos, guys. I truly, truly appreciate you. And I'll see you tomorrow on tomorrow's live.